in the development which has ravaged Manipur in the last 48 hours.
We discussed this thing yesterday, and I completely agree with Rami that what happened, the visuals and all, like it just shatters your belief in humanity, and also it's so heart wrenching for the family, for the loved one. They will never ever be able to get out of this. I honestly don't know how to describe this thing. But the fact of the matter is that yes, with this incident, the Manipur is on boil again. With this incident, all that fragile peace which we were talking about, all that hopes which we were talking about, that these are the steps which can be taken to restore normalcy and all that we have gone back 180-degree to where we started. Now it will be a very tough task on the part of the state government to bring the situation back to normalcy. It will be a doubly difficult task for security forces, because now there are voices from the Maithei communities, voices from other communities also, which are raising question mark about the police force, security personals and all. So I think all in all, the situation is getting it has gotten from bad to worse.
Okay, Dr. Haukip, is it like that? Is it like what happened in Assam? The tension when the immigration took place, and if you
I
saw
think
that subsequently, Dr. Haukip, the election was fought in, I think, 7 years ago. The Khilonjia Sarkar, the government of the indigenous, it became a political rallying point when for the first time BJP came to power. The word Khilonjia was used. I'm just using it as an analogy. Do you think that it's like that? It is creating a problem now, the migrants? Dr. Haukip?
yes, Kartikeya, when the foreign minister talks about migrants, which migrants are we talking about? I was having this a construction of my own house in Manipur a few years ago, and I had extensively used migrant workforce from West Bengal and Assam for the construction of my house itself. So, whose migrants are we talking about? If we are talking about, people who seek refuge due to the crisis in Myanmar, then I have acknowledged that there may be population. Let there be a documentation and let them settle there for a while, and let us properly document them and send them back when there is a semblance of normalcy in Myanmar. And I hope so that in the last few months, the Manipur government has done the needful, and now there is a documentation of those migrants, or so-called migrants, who are seeking refuge in the border land in Manipur. They have been documented. So we have to look into who the issue, unless documenting them, unless taking out a kind of a head count or census for those people who seek refuge. Then we can't just say that Manipur stability is due to migrants. We have to differentiate between these two. And in Manipur there is a huge difference between what is being said and what is done on the ground. For instance, the chief minister of Manipur has just assured the people that justice will be served, on the killing of these two students. We feel so bad, from the 4th of May, we have been facing this. We have been looking into the videos and picture of many who were killed in Imphal and other places. So right now, the situation is also being felt by the other groups. So we are in the same, situation now, that the pain, of being your people, your loved ones being killed, tortured, raped, all these things, we have already faced this, and we also feel the pain right now regarding these two students. And there is an argument that Manipur is a hill state, right? And all the laws should be uniformly applied in this state. This argument has been going on for the last few years. But let me tell you, the kind of differential treatment that has been meted out. The ITLF has made an observation that there is a delay in the implementation of this kind of many things. For instance, in terms of investigations on the crisis in Manipur, with regard to the cases where hill people were, the victims. On the other hand, today we have, an issue yesterday. and the chief minister announced that there will be a CBI inquiry, and immediately within 24 hours, a special flight has been arranged for the CBI personnel to arrive in Imphal, and he already made it clear that they have arrived in the afternoon today. So this kind of the differential treatment is there between the hills and the valley. You can't talk about applying different the same laws without implementing what is being
Okay,
done.
but Mr. Aukip, I'm reading out a statement of ITLF Women's Wing convener Mary Joan, who led the protest in Chura Chandpur, and she says that the rally is against the prompt action of the CBI into killing of the two teenagers. The rally is against the prompt action of the CBI into killing of the two teenagers who were in love and had eloped. However, there were many incidents of tribal women being raped, paraded naked, and men being killed, but no CBI inquiry was conducted. How long can this sense of selective and personal injury sustain itself, General Sivaj? How long can it be? CBI has come for a case. How long can this continue to happen? My case versus your case. You have to unmute yourself, General Sivaj.
Yeah, as far as this case is, the CBI inquiry has been ordered. So there are certain quarters which this thing is coming. Why a CBI inquiry has ordered in such a case when such cases have taken place in past also, and that time the CBI inquiry was not ordered. I don't think that is the correct strategy. This is the incident which wants a CBI inquiry, and we should go in. No, Dr. S. Jaishankar, when he pointed out that there is an involvement of migrant, there is no doubt. What he is talking about is the migrants which has come basically from Myanmar. And that is especially after the military junta has taken over in Myanmar, there have been a lot of turmoil. And a certain population, Chin population possibly, has come from there, got migrated and settled in the hills in Manipur.
Okay.
And they possibly, that is what he must be meaning, and they are involved in also poppy cultivation. And this has also changed the complex of the complete area. But certainly this is not the only problem. The problem is multifarious. I am saying that yes, migrant is also one of the issue which has come. That's why we are talking about it, that with the migrants, weapons have also come. When we are talking about 5,000 to 7,000 weapons have been looted from police armory, there are another 5,000 weapons which have been illegally come from Myanmar to Manipur. So therefore the question comes, until and unless you don't seal this border, this honeymoon of 16 kilometers this side, that side has to be stopped now, because it is not working out. Since the border is porous, you find anyone and everyone coming from Myanmar to Manipur, they are the ones which are either settling down, getting involved into poppy cultivation. Lot of weapons are coming. This will keep the area disturbed. So we have to now make a new strategy. But certainly I agree on one issue. As on today, the peace has not come. This was a bluff. The thing is that there is a distrust between both the communities still. The peace is only because there is a buffer zone. So we have to take a de novo look. How do we handle it? The weapons are still at large on both sides, and whosoever get an opportunity, he use violence against the other one. And that is the problem which is coming in. As a nation, we have to be very worried. We don't want an innocent life to be lost, but it is being lost from both sides. And that is what is the cause of concern. How do we bring peace in the area is a mute question. How do we get this weapon out of this society is the second question. Third question is, how do we seal the border between Myanmar and Manipur is the third question.
Brijesh, the word which the general used, the peace was a bluff. You can say you can have a debate on it, but the fact of the matter is, it just shows how fragile the atmosphere in Manipur was. How superficial the semblance of peace was. It has taken only 48 hours, and the recovery of a photograph through social media that two people who eloped were brutally killed in July, and the discovery of that.
Kartikeya, first, I honestly don't think that there was any assumption about peace making return. All that was a smokescreen, because everybody was hoping for the best. So that hope deluded you into all of us into believing that that there's a fragile peace. And the thing is that with as and when internet ban gets lifted for a longer duration of time, I think we will also get to know about several other ghastly crimes that have taken place. And I think, we should be prepared, we should be ready for witnessing these kind of periodic reminders of how gruesome last 4 months have been for the state of Manipur. There are various actions. It has to be dealt at multiple levels. Kartikeya, if the government of India feels that it's the migrants which are causing this big a problem, then the government of India must also come forward and tell what kind of action they have taken in the last 4 months to ensure that there is a massive dip in the migration problem. What kind of combing efforts, what kind of liberty which has been given to Indian Army, or how has the crackdown by both Assam Rifles and Manipur Police, how effective it has been. There are no answers to that. There were a couple of press conferences which were held by ADG and Home Secretary. But I mean, those were the only two press conferences which revealed the extent of weaponry which you got, the number of dead people and not. But those were just stats, because there's no clear-cut picture of how coherent and how formidable the crackdown has been. And unless you start doing that, several things at one go, there is no way you are going to have these peace. And I think one video there and this photograph there, very heinous crime, beheading of an individual.